Assalamu alaikum everyone. I welcome you all in AppSec's online support program. I'm Mrs. Zubash Tahir from APS Atta Kent, and I'll be delivering my lecture for week 4 of History Class 7. As we've discussed in the last lesson, the Byzantine Empire started when the Roman Emperor Constantine shifted the capital to Byzantium and renamed it Constantinople. But he didn't know at that time that this shifting could become the biggest reason of the decline of Roman Empire. Now we are going to discuss in detail the reasons of the fall of the Western Roman Empire. Now there were two types of reasons of the fall of the Western Roman Empire. One were internal reasons and the other was external reason. Internal reason was corruption of the government, heavy taxes by the government on its subjects, and as a result the people of different provinces they rebelled against the government. The shifting of the capital to Constantinople made it more weaker, and the church became powerful as the rulers, they were the emperors, they were corrupt, people did not believe in them, so they turned to the priests of the churches. Church became more powerful and more than the emperors. Provinces rebelled against the government. All these internal matters weakened the army also, and ultimately the defense system was also weak. So the barbarians and Huns from Central Asia attacked and destroyed much of the empire. Although the ancient Greek and Roman civilizations were very advanced of their time, they given great contributions in the fields of science, engineering, architecture, government, philosophy. But with the fall of the Western Roman Empire around 500 CE, the scientific and cultural development of Europe stopped. And with this decline, Western Europe entered into the Dark Ages. Okay, now I want you all to open page number 8 of your textbooks. We'll be reading about the feudalism and the medieval Europe. With the advent of Dark Ages, the feudal system in the medieval European societies was a political, economic, and social system developed during 10th to 13th centuries. It became common during 11th century, and the feudal societies were divided into four hierarchies based on local administrative control and distribution of land: the kings, the nobles, the knights, and the peasants. Each hierarchy was linked to the other in a different way. Now, feudalism is a social system in which land was exchanged for work. It was a give and take system, and its hierarchy is somewhat um, similar to Hinduism, the caste system in the Hinduism, and we'll be discussing whether it is practiced in Pakistan or not. So, looking at the hierarchy of this feudal system, at the top we had kings. Now, the kings owned all the land, but it was not possible for them to control the entire land by themselves alone. So, they kept some part of the land for themselves and gave the rest to the nobles. Now, the kings provided help and support to the nobles and protected them so that they would not rebel against them. The lands were given in different parts of the country, not together. Not one specific part was given to one noble, but they were given parts in the different parts of the country. Why? Because they do not strengthen their position in a certain area. The nobles were responsible for providing soldiers for the king's army, especially during war. So the tenants in chief or nobles, now they came after the king. The rich nobles were granted land by the kings, and they had their own system of governance, taxation, law, they had their own laws. They minted their own coins. The nobles were supposed to protect their lands, and the people who worked for them, they were also protected by the nobles. Different officials were deputed to keep a check on the workers and the peasants, whether they are working in the right way or not, whether they're following the laws, whether they're giving taxes, and there were checks and balances to regulate the whole system. After the noble comes the knights. The knights are also called lesser nobles. They were considered the representatives of the powerful nobles. They were like assistants. To attain knighthood, they had to follow a code of conduct known as chivalry. Now, chivalry was their loyalty towards the nobles. And when they were very loyal and they were brave and they did everything correctly, they were given the knighthood power. They became knights. And the nobles sublet their land to the knights, who in turn granted the lands to the peasants on lease. If the knights did not perform their duties well, their titles were revoked and their lands were taken back. So you see, the hierarchy goes like the kings, they give their lands to the nobles. The nobles again distribute their lands to the knights, and the knights, they give, actually the work was done by the peasants, and they give their land to the peasants so that they can work on it, cultivate it, and provide them with the food and the crops. Now, the most important group of the feudal hierarchy were the peasants because they did all the work. The rest of them were just supervising it. They worked on the lands given by the knights, and they were categorized into two groups: free peasants and bounded peasants. Free peasants cultivated the land, rented land, and paid the lord. The bounded peasants worked on their lord's lands, and in return, they were given a small piece of land to farm and to live on. They supplied food to the knights. So the free peasants, they rent the land, they work on it, and they pay the knight. But the bounded peasants, they were living on that land. They were given food and supplies and a small piece of land in return of their services. So they were responsible for giving food to the knights, the bounded peasants. Now, an interesting fact is that the medieval lords and wealthy merchants, they gave large amounts of money to the churches and monasteries. Some wealthy people paid to have special chapels built where priests could pray for their souls to go to heaven. So they built their own special churches where the priests would pray for those lords and kings and nobles, specially for them, so that they can enter heaven. They would pray for them. So this is a very interesting fact. This is what they believed in at that time.